The Hamilton Southeastern Gymnasium has seen some fantastic basketball over the years, and tonight will be no exception. 24 hours after the Lady Royals welcomed the top-ranked team in the state in Class 1A, Fort Wayne Canterbury, to Hamilton Southeastern, the boys team tonight will welcome the number one team in the state of Indiana, the Arsenal Tech Titans, and you can watch it all right here on audiosportsonline.com. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Royals basketball on ASO. As I mentioned, 24 hours after this gymnasium saw number one Fort Wayne Canterbury fall to the 9th-ranked Lady Royals of Hamilton Southeastern. They will see the number one team, Tech, take on the number 3 team, Royals, in varsity action tonight on audiosportsonline.com. But before we do that, we have JV basketball to bring to you tonight as Tech versus the Royals in JV action for the Tech Titans. Their JV team is coached by Dr. Ramon Batts, and his lineup will have a 3-guard look. At a guard is a sophomore, Jerron McCall. At the other guard, a junior, Raylon Warren. The third guard is also a junior, Jason Beck. At forward is a sophomore, Dante Gladney, and the other forward is a junior, Keonis Irvin. So once again, for Dr. Batts and the Arsenal Tech JV Titans, it will be McGaw, Warren, and Beck in the backcourt, Gladney and Irvin in the front court, and that is the starting lineup for the JV Arsenal Tech Titans. For Coach Calvin Bembry's JV Royals, it'll be a rather familiar look. Starting at a guard will be a 5'11 junior, Max Hankins. At the other guard, also a 5'11 junior, also with the name Hankins, this time Mason Hankins. The third guard will be a 6'3 junior, Grant Leach. At forward is a 6'5 junior, Brendan Burns, and the other forward is a 6'6 junior, Jack Kramer. So once again, for Coach Bembry and the JV Royals, it'll be the Hankins, both Max and Mason in the backcourt, joined by Grant Leach and Brendan Burns and Jack Kramer along the front lines for Coach Bembry and the JV Royals. Should be a fantastic night of basketball here on audiosportsonline.com. We hope you'll stay tuned all night long, and then come time for the varsity game, we'll be joined along the ASO Sports Network as one of the debut games for IndianaTalks.com, as they will be picking up tonight's game between number 1 Hamilton Southeastern and number 3 Hamilton Southeastern and number 1 Arsenal Tech. We'll be talking more about that game when we begin our broadcast for the varsity game. This has been Tech has come off of a loss this week. They lost in the Indianapolis City tournament to Cathedral. It was a 20-point loss. So we will see how the rankings reflect on Monday. A win tonight by Tech, they may still be able to claim the number 1 ranking after knocking off number 3 Hamilton Southeastern. But a win by the Royals puts them in a great opportunity to stake claim to that number 1 ranking themselves. Who you might ask is number 2? Well, that would be the Carmel Greyhounds, and they're taking on Ben Davis tonight. A win by Carmel, and they also would have a legitimate claim to the number 1 ranking. As you look here on the video, you will see Titans are dressed in green. They are wearing orange numerals and letterings with white trim, and the Royals will be in the home white with royal blues. As Titans, in a good display of sportsmanship, starters come over, shake the hands of Coach Calvin Bembry. So good display of sportsmanship here as we get ready for basketball tonight here on audiosportsonline.com here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Coach Bembry's JV team, they've had their ups and downs this year, but more often than not, they have been on the winning side of the scoreboard. It is a very experienced team, and he has a couple of very good guards in both the Hankins brothers, Max and Mason Hankins. We have seen Mason in a few of the varsity contests late for Coach Satterfield, as well as seeing Chris Ford and at times even Grant Leach. It will be Jack Kramer jumping center against Keonis Irvin as we get ready for basketball here. Audio Sports Online. Glad you could join us tonight. Again, Tech in the green, Royals in the white. As we're about ready for basketball. Ball is in the air, and it's controlled by Southeastern as they move right to left. And Max Hankins guarded closely by Jerron McCall. Ball is loose on the court. Still loose. Coming away with it is Mason Hankins. And wrapping around from behind is Jason Beck. And Beck will commit the first personal foul of this contest. It'll go against the Titans of Tech. So Grant Leach will inbound, and we will have a quick timeout called by Coach Calvin Bembry, a 30-second timeout, as didn't quite like what he saw after the tip was controlled by the Royals. And he's setting out to straighten that out as quick as possible. We are just underway here in the junior varsity contest. Varsity game to follow here on Audio Sports Online. As I mentioned, number 3 Hamilton Southeastern, number 1 Arsenal Tech. Same lineups out of the timeout, no changes. And we'll see if Coach Bembry can get the type of floor spacing that he was looking for. Grant Leach will trigger the inbounds for the Royals right here in the sideline, and he will get it into Max Hankins. Max with the basketball, dribbles, goes left side to Mason, into the hands of Brendan Burns. Burns up top to Jack Kramer between the circles, goes left side to Mason. Mason loses the basketball, and they will say he went out of bounds, and the ball will belong to Tech, as Coach Bembry still not overly pleased with the ball movement on that first possession for Hamilton Southeastern. We have played 25 seconds into this contest as Tech now is getting their first chance on offense. As they'll look over a 2-3 zone, they get the ball free throw line, then swing it around left side. 3 ball on his way. It's up and good by Jason Beck. Beck gets the 3, and the Titans are up 3-0 as they employ a 2-2-1 press. Ball is loose. Burns has it. Now it's stripped away. Coming away with it is Dante Gladney. Gladney will take it all the way, lay it up with the right hand. And Tech is quickly out in front, 5-0. Royals still looking over this 2-2-1 press. Mason Hankins now throws it over the head of Jack Kramer, looking to get the ball in bounds and over the over the timeline. And Hankins throws the basketball away, and quickly we are going to have substitutions onto the court as Tim Ford will come in as well as Keegan Kohlmeyer. Both the Hankins will depart. So Tim Ford and Keegan Kohlmeyer take over as the Royals go back to the 2-3 zone. And the Titans bring it into the front court with Jerron McCall with the basketball. Goes over the top, driving and almost losing the basketball was Jason Beck, but the Titans regain control. Up top, Dante Gladney. Gladney, right side, driving baseline is Raylon Warren, excuse me. And the Titans will move it back around the perimeter. Wide open 3. The shot is off of the back flange, no good. Warren's 3 can't connect, and here comes Southeastern looking for their first points, trailing 5-0 with 4:11 left to go in the opening quarter. Kohlmeyer gives the ball to the hands of Burns to Kramer. Right side, they swing it around. Here's a 3 on its way, Grant Leach. Leach's 3 from the right wing gives the Royals their first points. They trail 5-3. Warren drives baseline and throws it right into the hands of Leach. Leach stops, waits for his teammates, and running the lane is Jack Kramer. Give him the bucket and send him to the line. Nice find by Leach, who was content to wait for his teammates to come into the front court, but he found Jack Kramer just running the lane with nobody around, and he finishes it off, and the foul will go against Jason Beck. And the free throw is good. 6-5, that is our score. They don't give the foul did not go against Beck. Foul is called against Keonis Irvin, his first, but the team's second. Warren kicks it out to McCall. McCall down the lane, throws a shot. It's short, but there with a rebound is Irvin. His shot is long, but the ball was loose, and Keonis Irvin puts it up and in to give the Titans a 7-6 lead. Here's a three by Brendan Burns from the corner. A pair of threes for the Royals, and they take the lead again, 9-7. 3 minutes left to go in this first quarter of play with Jerron McCall. Bounce pass to Warren. Warren back over to McGaw as he will launch an NBA three and nail it. Well, we were warned that Jerron McGaw would basically hike it up from just about anywhere on the court, and that's an NBA range three that he nails to put the Titans back up on top 10-9, and now a whistle and a foul. As Jack Kramer got the pass, he is fouled, and this time it will go against Raylon Warren. Warren's first, team foul number 3 against the Titans. As entering the contest now for Dr. Batts will be we will see if we can check the number out, as it is Devin Mickens. Meanwhile, Grant Leach double-teamed on the wing, still looking for something to do. Now dribbles, and Grant, with no help, ends up dribbling the ball on the sidelines right in front of the Tech bench and turning the ball back over to Tech. 2:24 remains in this first quarter. JV Titans with a 10-9 lead over the Royals. And they'll get it over to the near side. Jason Beck with the basketball. Again, looking over this zone. As McGaw over the top, back to Beck. Beck, ball fake, drives, gives a baseline pass to Eunice Irvin. Tries to get the shot up, but he's going to be hacked on the way up, and the foul's going to go against the Royals. First foul against Hamilton Southeastern. It'll go against Brendan Burns. Burns first, Eunice at the line to shoot a pair to Eunice Irvin. And he misses the first of two. One more free throw for Irvin, as entering the lineup is Ty Scholl for Jack Kramer. And now we will also have a timeout, as heading over to the bench is Jason Beck, and he evidently has a cut. And they are going to have to take care of that, though I'm not sure Dr. Batts agrees with the diagnosis by the officials. So Raylon Warren will check back in as they take care of young Jason Beck over there on the sidelines. And evidently Tech did not bring a trainer, so they're going to have to get one from Hamilton Southeastern. Irvin, second free throw, rattles around, falls back out. He misses them both. And the Titans keep the 10-9 lead. Here's Southeastern across the timeline. Driving right side, Tim Ford lays it up with the right hand, and a nice move down the right side of the lane for Tim Ford. Swings the lead back in favor of Southeastern, 11-10, with a minute 46 left to go in this first quarter. Here's McGaw, another long-range three. This one rims out, and fighting for the rebound was Tim Ford. He was looking for an over the back against Raylon Warren, but it doesn't come. The whistle doesn't come, and Tech will have the basketball. The trigger on the inbounds will be Dante Gladney from the baseline. Gladney looks, gets the ball inbounds. Here's a ball fake, driving the right side of the lane is Mickens, and then he has to kick it back out. Once again, Mickens with the basketball. A little bit of a give and go. They find Irvin, and Irvin with a nice little turnaround jumper, a tough shot. Eunice Irvin now has 4 points, and Tech has the 1-point lead with a minute 16 left to go in this quarter. Leach is going to be trapped on the baseline. He'll throw it away, and McGaw will finish it on the break. So tough defense by the Titans. They lead to another turnover and an easy bucket in transition. Here's Grant Leach, drives left-hand baseline, tries to get it down to Ty Scholl. Ball loose on the court, still loose, and it's we'll have a whistle and a held ball, and the possession error will favor the Tech Titans. 53.7 seconds remain in this opening quarter. Tech with a 14-11 lead over Hamilton Southeastern. Junior varsity action here on Audio Sports Online. As the crowd begins to file in for what should be a fantastic varsity basketball game. Meanwhile, Tech with a basketball. With it is Mickens. Mickens, right side, kick ball by Brendan Burns. The ball will stay down here in possession of Tech. 38.2 seconds remain in the quarter as Dante Gladney will trigger the inbounds. And he gets the ball to Keunis Irvin. Irvin couldn't handle it, but Gladney gets it back. 33 seconds. They get to McGaw. Here's a long-range three that he nails. As I mentioned, Jerron McGaw, we've been told he will put it up just about anywhere, and another turnover as Grant Leach can't handle the pass from Keegan Kohlmeyer. And the Titans will have the basketball, leading by 6 with 23.9 seconds remaining. Mason Hankins comes back in. Grant Leach will take a seat. Jerron McGaw, who's just hit 2 long-range threes. 18 seconds remain. Works on Mason Hankins, gets the ball over to the near side, and now almost a steal by Burns with 10 seconds left. Back into the hands of McGaw. McGaw works on Mason Hankins, crossover dribble, leaves it down low, and Keunis Irvin finishes it off, and that'll finish off the first quarter of action as the Arsenal Tech Titans lead Hamilton Southeastern by the score of 19-11. This is Southeastern basketball on AudioSportsOnline.com. Back at Hamilton Southeastern High School, Brian Scott with you tonight as we broadcast JV action at the moment between the Arsenal Tech Titans and the Hamilton Southeastern Royals. And after the first quarter of play, it's the Titans with a 19-11 lead. Jerron McGaw with 8 points in that quarter, including 2 long-range bombs. As I mentioned before the contest, I was down at the scorer's table and was told that McGaw could light it up from just about anywhere in the gym, and both of his threes were well beyond even NBA range. We'll begin quarter number 2 as take a look at Southeastern. We have I believe that is Tyler Gianni wearing 54. They try to get the ball down low to Josiah Johnson. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will belong to the Titans. They lead by 8 with 5:46 left to go in the first half as we are just underway of the second quarter. McGaw joined by Dante Gladney, and now slipping is Gladney, and he'll be called for traveling. Keunis Irvin, Devin Mickens, and Eric Meeks round out the 5 for Dr. Batts. For Coach Calvin Bembry, it'll be Mason Hankins, Josiah Johnson, Keegan Culp. Here's Tyler Janney for the basket. And they say it's a 3. Now here's a turnover. Coming back the other way. 3 ball up, no good by Chris Ford. Rebounded by the Titans. Raylon Warren. Or correction, that was Devin Mickens. Here's McGaw with another long-range 3. And it's just going to be simply a matter of Coach Brembury's going to have somebody put a hand in his face no matter where that youngster is on the court. They get the ball to Culp back to Janney. Janney left side, he gets the ball in the hands of Chris Ford. Ford with the basketball, looking for Johnson down in the low post. Ball's poked out of bounds, and they'll say Chris Ford just simply lost track of the basketball, and the ball goes back into the hands of the Titans. Way too many turnovers, I'm sure, for Coach Bembry's liking, as many of them have been unforced, though the Titans' defense has also been strong. Here's a little runner by McGaw as he brings another weapon in his arsenal. Janney will have the basketball as he gets it from Hankins, leaves it left side. Johnson drives, and will be partially blocked by Devin Mickens, but official says Mickens got a little bit more of Josiah's body than Ball, and Josiah's going to head to the free throw line. It's Mickens' first, team foul number 4 against the Titans, and Johnson's at the line to shoot a pair. First free throw is good. One more on the way for Josiah Johnson. And he cans them both, so he has 2 points, and it's a 22-16 Tech advantage. 4:11 remains in the first half. Ball goes into the hands of Dante Gladney. Gladney looks for Keonis Irvin, who will kick it out, and the 3 ball from the near corner is up and good by Eric Meeks. Now getting into the front court is Tyler Janney, and he's going to be fouled as once he gets across the timeline. As Titans with some very aggressive defense. Jerron McGaw will be called for his first, team foul number 5. And Mason Hankins quickly into the front court, leaves it off to Chris Ford. Ford to Hankins, back to Ford again. Chris drives baseline, and he will lose the basketball, but they'll say he was bumped. Looks like Keonis Irvin will be called for his second personal. It'll be the 6th foul against the Titans. Keonis Irvin's second, as Mason Hankins will depart, and Max Hankins will enter and trigger the inbounds. And now substitutions for the Titans as Irvin will leave. He will be replaced by Willie Gray. 25-16, Titans with the lead. Royals with the basketball. They inbound to Keegan Culp. Culp up top to Tyler Janney. Janney in the lane to Johnson, to Max Hankins. 3 ball on its way. That's off the rim, no good. Culp there with a rebound, but the putback won't go down. And they'll say on the rebound it will go out of bounds off of Tech. And we'll keep it down here in the Royal front court. Southeastern trails by 9 with 3:29 left to go in this first half of play. Max Hankins inbounds to Keegan Culp. Culp up top to Janney between the circles. Tries to fire a bullet pass down to Chris Ford. Intercepted, but now the lob pass was knocked around briefly, and now we have a whistle, and a double dribble is going to be called on Jerron McGaw. So the double dribble violation gives the ball back to Southeastern, trailing by 9 as we are almost halfway through this second quarter. Tyler Janney works on McGaw, gets it into the front court to Max Hankins. Hankins to Johnson from about 18 feet is up and good. Josiah Johnson now with 4 points, 25-18, Titans with the lead in the basketball as we're under 3 minutes left to play in the first half. Gladney dribbles, backs it out, gives it to McGaw, another long-range 3. That one was way off to the right. Mickens had the rebound, but he misses the putback. But a steal, he gets the steal, gives it underneath to Gladney, and Gladney will get his 4th point on the layup. Back to a 9-point Titan advantage as Chris Ford gets the basketball, drives the lane, gets the bucket, and sent him to the line. Ford fouled on the shot, got the ball to fall. And let's see who the foul was called against. It was called against Dante Gladney. His first, it's a 7th team foul. So the Royals will be in the bonus the remaining 2 minutes and 28 seconds as Ford is at the line. Meanwhile, Brendan Burns returns to the lineup. He'll take over for Keegan Culp. And Gladney will depart for the Titans. He will be replaced by Jason Beck. Ford at the line, hoping to make this a 6-point deficit, but the free throw is short. Ball is loose. Ford chases after the rebound, but it's brought away by Meeks. Will come back the other way. Long-range three is no good. Rebound underneath. And the putback is no good, but Eric Meeks will be heading to the line to shoot a pair. Josiah Johnson hit with his first personal, only the second team foul against Southeastern here, with 2 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in this first half. Meeks at the line to shoot a pair. He has a 3-ball to his credit tonight. Hits the first of 2. Ty Scholl will return for the Royals. He'll take over for Josiah Johnson. Meeks with one more free throw. And that one rims out. Ball is loose, and it's finally controlled by Max Hankins. Outlets to Tyler Janney. Janney's layup is off the back of the rim. Ball is loose. Tyler gets the rebound, and then he's going to be fouled from behind by Willie Gray. Janney with a lot of momentum toward the basket as he tried to make the layup, left it strong. And the foul goes against Gray, his first, team 8th, and Janney is at the line. This will be a 1-and-1. Free throw is up. It's good. Janney with the first. He'll get the bonus. And he makes the second. Keegan Kohlmeyer will come in now for Max Hankins as Southeastern now trails only by 6. With 2:04 left to go in this first half. McGaw into the front court, goes right side to Meeks. Meeks leaves it off, is driving down the lane and putting up the shot. No good by Beck. Ball is loose, and they'll say it went off of a Titan, belonged to Hamilton Southeastern. A minute 50 left to go first half. Hamilton Southeastern trails 28-22. Titans have been up by as much as 9. And now full court pressure employed by Tech. Burns with the basketball, gives it back to Janney. Janney right side to Kohlmeyer. Kohlmeyer over the top, finds Brendan Burns in the front court. Burns will leave it to Janney. Janney drives, baseline pass out to Ford. Ford in the lane, drives, lays it up off the glass. And a nice move by Chris Ford will make it a 4-point game, 28-24 in favor of the Titans. They have the basketball. McGaw right at midcourt, and they're going to bring Janney out, make sure they contest any of McGaw's shots. He's shown that he has range. Ball is on the court, stolen away by Chris Ford. Ford will drive, lay it up off the glass and in. 6 points in the quarter by Chris Ford. Long outlet pass is up and good, as sneaking behind the defense was Willie Gray. As we go under a minute left to go in this first half, 30-26. Ford for 3, and Chris Ford feeling it now. 9 points in the quarter. It's a 1-point game, 30-29, as the Titans have the basketball with 44 seconds remaining in the first half. We'll see if they play for the final shot. McGaw will leave it out to Meeks. Meeks goes left side to Jason Beck. Beck back over to McGaw. 31 seconds remain. McGaw drives down the left of the lane. Throws it up. Shot no good. Kohlmeyer with a rebound. Southeastern looks to take the lead, and as Tyler Janney tries to make a move, he's going to be fouled by Jerron McGaw, which is going to send Janney to the line for the 1-and-1. For McGaw, that's his second personal, 9th team foul. And with the Royals trailing by a point, Tyler Janney will be at the line with a 1-and-1. Tyler just made a couple of free throws, as now Tim Ford will come in for Ty Scholl. So both the Fords out on the court. McGaw will depart as Mason Barnes comes in. McGaw leaves after hitting 3 threes. He has 11 points. Meanwhile, Janney at the line where he just hit 2. And that one's too strong. They're getting in, and getting the put back is Chris Ford, and a timeout called by Coach Calvin Bembry. Chris Ford off of the miss. Raced in, put it up, put it in, and the Royals lead by 1 with 20.7 seconds remaining in this first half. 31-30. As Chris Ford has taken over this third quarter. He has 11 points, all in this quarter. And he's been very aggressive going to the boards and hitting the glass. Out of the timeout, same lineups on the court. And the Royals themselves this time will go to some full court pressure. Mickens will inbound the ball. And he will get the ball into the hands of Barnes. And Barnes will give it right back to Mickens, who brings it into the front court. Mickens drives through the lane, puts it off the glass. No good. Tipped and controlled by Tyler Janney. Good bounce pass. Finds Tim Ford. It's blocked from behind by Mickens. And a whistle will stop play, and a foul is going to be called against Hamilton Southeastern, with 0.6 of a second remaining on the clock. Only the third team foul against Hamilton Southeastern, as Chris Ford will be called for his first personal. 31-30, 0.6 of a second. Long outlet, and here's a three-quarter court shot. Rims out as Devin Mickens from three-quarters court heaves it. Ball rims around the cylinder, falls out, and that's how we end this first half of play. The Tech Titans led by as much as 9 points in this first half, but they go to the locker room with trailing by 1 as Hamilton Southeastern, behind 11 points from Chris Ford in this second quarter, leads Tech 31-30. Stay with us. In about 6 minutes, we'll have halftime stats. This is Royals basketball on AudioSportsOnline.com. Welcome back to Hamilton Southeastern High School. Brian Scott with you tonight as we have JV action before our main course between number 3 Hamilton Southeastern and number 1 Arsenal Tech. Let's give you our stats here for the first half. For the Arsenal Tech Titans, they were led by 11 points from Jerron McGaw, including 3 just absurdly long-range bombs. 6 points from Keonis Irvin, 4 points each from Eric Meeks and Dante Gladney. 3 points from Jason Beck, 2 points from Willie Gray. Devin Mickens and Raylon Warren played. They did not score. For Hamilton Southeastern, they're led by 11 points from Chris Ford as he went on a tear in that second quarter, and that's where he scored all 11 of his points. 5 points for Tyler Janney, 4 points for Josiah Johnson, 3 points from Brendan Burns and Grant Leach, 2 points from Tim Ford, Max Hankins, Keegan Kohlmeyer, Mason Hankins, Keegan Culp, and Ty Scholl. They all played. They did not score. Tech led by 8 points after the end of the first quarter. They've led by as much as 9 points in the first half, but Southeastern went on a second half run sparked by Chris Ford. Strong moves to the cup. Chris, for good measure, also mixed in a 3-point basket, and that allowed Southeastern to go ahead when Tyler Janney finally was able to hit a basket, made some free throws, and that's how we stand here at the break with the Royals leading the Arsenal Tech Titans by the score of 31-30. All of this just to set up the main course, which will be taking place here in about an hour and a half when number 3 Southeastern takes on number 1 Tech. Of course, the Titans, they lost earlier this week in the Indianapolis City tournament, and they lost by 20 points to Cathedral. It would be interesting to see how the AP writers vote come Monday should Tech manage to knock off Southeastern. Same could be true if the situation is reversed. Hamilton Southeastern comes in ranked number 3 in the state of Indiana. A win over Tech might give them enough votes to sneak above Carmel and get the number 1 ranking in the state of Indiana. Carmel is playing tonight. They are playing Ben Davis, another top 20 ranked team. So it could be an interesting Monday when the AP voters have to pick who they're going to rank as their number 1 team in the state of Indiana. We're about ready for second half action here at Hamilton Southeastern. For the Titans, it looks like it'll be Jerron McGaw, Raylon Waters, Jason Beck, Dante Gladney, and Keonis Irvin. That's their starting 5. And as Coach Bembry has been wont to do, he will often mix up his lineup. Who starts the game is not necessarily who starts the second half, and this is no different. It'll be Grant Leach, Keegan Kohlmeyer, Josiah Johnson, Jack Kramer, and Brendan Burns as Coach Bembry elects to go big across the front line. Royals have the basketball to begin the second half. They'll move left to right. Royals are in the white, and the Titans are in the green. Leach will throw the ball into the backcourt to Keegan Kohlmeyer, and the second half is underway. Kohlmeyer gives the ball to Burns. Burns finds Kramer at the free throw line. Shot is strong, rebounded by Jason Beck of the Titans. He briefly loses it, but the Titans get it back as the ball was trying to be saved by Grant Leach. Here's a shot, 3-ball top of the key. That's no good by Jason Beck. Ball still loose. Getting the rebound was Gladney. He'll give it to McGaw, and McGaw may have range from well beyond the arc, but at the arc he shoots that one a little too strong. It goes over the basket, and the ball belonged to Hamilton Southeastern. Just underway, second half here. 31-30 is our score. As once again, Titans will employ a 2-2-1 press. Leach will get it to Kohlmeyer. And Keegan Kohlmeyer, left side Grant Leach, back to Kohlmeyer. Kohlmeyer across, finds Brendan Burns. Burns finds Johnson, and a great job by Hamilton Southeastern to beat the press. Get it into the front court. Johnson has the bucket. And now a turnover committed by Dante Gladney will give the ball right back to Southeastern, who has a 3-point lead with 5:14 left to go in the third quarter. Kohlmeyer with the inbounds pass from the baseline. Looks, goes left side, finds Keegan Culp. Culp's three, rattles in, or Brendan Burns. My mistake. Brendan Burns' three rattles in from the corner, and Southeastern has their biggest lead of the night by 6. 36-30 as we have played 1 minute into this third quarter. With the move and the dribble, losing the basketball briefly was Jason Beck, got it back. And they'll get the ball into the hands of Jerron McGaw. Again, McGaw shows great range between the legs dribble. He will give it up to Beck. Beck, right side, finds Warren. Warren back to McGaw. McGaw works on Grant Leach, drives down the right side of the lane. Layup no good. Kramer the rebound for Southeastern. Left side Kohlmeyer, bounce pass to Grant Leach, and Leach can't hold on to the basketball. And a good pass by Keegan Kohlmeyer on the bounce. But Leach, looking to see where he was going to head with the basketball, ends up losing it out of bounds, and the ball goes back into the hands of Tech, who trails by 6 with 4:28 left to go in this third quarter of play. Hamilton Southeastern leading Arsenal Tech 36-30. Junior varsity action here. Our main course, number 1 Tech, number 3 Hamilton Southeastern, coming up at around 7:30. You don't want to miss that game. We do want to remind fans that all of our games broadcast via the webcast or video cast on Audio Sports Online are also available as an archive on our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, look up audiosportsonline.com, and you'll find all of our video webcast games right there. Post them on Facebook, send them via Twitter, share them with friends and family, all courtesy of audiosportsonline.com. Raylon Warren will inbounds the ball as the Titans find themselves down by 6 with 4:26 left to go in the third quarter. Up top to Gladney. Gladney goes right side to Beck. And they move it around now into the hands of Warren. Warren back over to Beck. Bounce pass to the top as Titans look to get the ball movement. Here's a pull-up three on its way. Short off the front of the rim by Warren. And the rebound comes down into the hands of Hamilton Southeastern. Grant Leach, nice little move, but leaves the layup short. And the rebound is by Raylon Warren. Warren, right side, gives the ball to Beck. He will give it to Jerron McGaw. Right side back into the hands of Jason Beck. Beck bounce pass in the lane to Keunis Irvin, and Irvin couldn't hold on to the basketball, but they'll say as Jack Kramer got the ball, Kramer's going to be called for steps and give the ball right back to Arsenal. Score remains at 36-30, 3:41 left to go in this third quarter. Dante Gladney will trigger the inbound from the baseline, and now we'll have a foul before the ball can even be inbounded, as it looks like Grant Leach was trying to keep tabs on Jerron McGaw. And Grant's going to be called for his first personal. First team foul against Southeastern in the second half. And now we'll have an offensive foul as Keunis Irvin, I believe, is going to be called for the foul. If it is, it's his third. And it is Keunis Irvin that's called for the personal, his third. First team foul against the Titans in the second half. So we remain at 36-30. Keegan Kohlmeyer will get the ball into the front court, and now we'll have a whistle and a foul. Foul looks like it's going to go against Raylon Warren, which would be his second. As we wait for them to post it up and make sure, being across the court, we do not sometimes can tell what the numbers are that the officials are flashing, but it is Warren, his second. There's Josiah Johnson, top of the key, right side. Grant Leach lost the basketball briefly. Brendan Burns finds Jack Kramer, count the basket, and send him to the line. Nice feed by Brendan Burns. He finds Jack Kramer alone underneath the cup. Kramer gets the bucket, and he'll head to the line for the and one. Jason Beck will be called for his second personal. 13 foul against the Titans. And counted the basket, but they are taking it out from the end line. Keegan Kohlmeyer on the entry gets the bucket. So they'll say the foul occurred after the basket was made, and they gave Southeastern the ball back. And they convert on the inbounds play. 40-30 is our score. Gladney looking for room. He runs right into Brendan Burns, and Burns is going to be called for the blocking foul. For Brendan, his second team foul against Southeastern in the half. The Royals now have a 10-point lead. They give the pass to Warren, who will give it to Jerron McGaw at the center jump circle. And McGaw wanted to make a nifty move, and he's going to be called for steps. So Dr. Batts, looking at the official, not in agreement with that call, but it will belong to Hamilton Southeastern with 2:55 remaining in the third quarter. And the Royals up by 10, 40-30. Kohlmeyer in the front court. Gives it to Leach. Leach looks for a Kramer screen. Now gives it to Burns. 3 on the way. Top of the key is good. Brendan Burns with his 9th point, all coming by way of the long bomb. And Southeastern's now up by 13 with 2:32 left to go in the quarter. McGaw will give it off to Warren. Warren, top of the key, gets around the screen. Bounce pass right side, and traveling will be the call once again, this time against Jason Beck. And we'll have a substitution as Dr. Batts will get Devin Mickens back into the contest, as well as Darius Yates. Southeastern with the basketball, leading by 13. Keegan Kohlmeyer into the front court. Goes right side. He's cut off. Finds Josiah Johnson. Back to Kohlmeyer. 3 from the corner is off the side of the rim. No good. Rebounded by the Titans. They get it to McGaw. McGaw left side. Just inside the arc. Shot by Beck is no good, but a whistle and a foul committed by Hamilton Southeastern. They'll say the foul was against Jack Kramer. That's his first, team's third. And to the line will be Jason Beck. Hamilton Southeastern on a 12-0 run to begin this quarter as the Titans look for their first point, and they won't get it from the free throw line as Beck's free throw is no good. Max Hankins and Brock Sanders now in for Coach Calvin Bembry. Meanwhile, at the line, Jason Beck still looking to give the Titans their first points here in the second half. That rims out no good, but the rebound chased down by Willie Gray. It's going to be knocked out of bounds by Brock Sanders, and the ball will remain in the hands of Tech. 2 minutes remain in this third quarter. Southeastern leads by 13. 43-30 as the Titans get the basketball in. A leaner in the lane is up by Dante Gladney. The shot's no good, but Gladney is fouled in the process, and he'll earn a trip to the free throw line. Brendan Burns will be called for his third personal foul, 4th team foul. And Gladney's at the line for 2, and his first free throw gives the Titans their first points of the second half. 43-31 is our score. It was 31-30 in favor of Hamilton Southeastern at the break. And the Titans go 4 minutes here in the third quarter without scoring a point. Second free throw is up. It is good. And we're making an 11-point game in favor of Hamilton Southeastern. Max Hankins, he finds Brendan Burns. Burns goes up, leaves the layup short, tip back out. Grant Leach's layup is short, and the ball is finally controlled by Dante Gladney, and the foul will go against the Royals. Josiah Johnson will be called for his second personal foul. Timeout called by Calvin Bembry and the Royals. With a minute 46 left to go, third quarter. Hamilton Southeastern leads Arsenal Tech by the score 43-32. You're watching Royals basketball on audiosportsonline.com. With a minute 46 left to go in the third quarter, the JV Royals lead Arsenal Tech by the score 43-32 as Southeastern went on a 12-0 run to begin this third quarter, with Tech not scoring until Dante Gladney's two free throws here with under 2 minutes left to go in this quarter. Out of the timeout for Hamilton Southeastern, Max Hankins, Grant Leach, Brendan Burns, Brock Sanders, and Josiah Johnson. Royals with some full court pressure now out of the timeout. They lob it into McGaw. McGaw almost loses it, gathers it back. Double team comes, ball is loose, and they'll say it went off of McGaw, and it'll belong to Hamilton Southeastern. Turnover by the Royals on the pressure. We'll see if Southeastern can extend the lead. Ty Scholl will come in. He'll come in for Josiah Johnson. A minute 41 left to go in the quarter. 43-32 is our score. And Grant Leach will trigger the inbound. Looking. He finds Hankins, but it's stolen by McGaw. And a whistle, and they'll call him for double dribble. Again, Dr. Ramon Batts, the JV coach for Arsenal Tech, not in agreement with the call, and he has not been in agreement for a few of these calls, but it will belong to Hamilton Southeastern. They remain up by 11 with a minute 40 left to go in the quarter. Leach again with the inbounds. This time he throws it to Max Hankins in the backcourt, and Max brings it up to the front court. Max, double team comes, loses the basketball. Here comes Tech. And we'll have a whistle as Willie Gray on the break is fouled on the floor. Now, so see who they put the foul will go against Max Hankins, his first. It is the 16th foul against Hamilton Southeastern. And we'll have a timeout called on the court with a minute 30 remaining in this third quarter. Hamilton Southeastern, well, no timeout. They were both going to go to the benches, but Southeastern leads 43-32. Triggering the inbound will be Willie Gray. And Gray will throw it to McGaw. McGaw bounce pass at the free throw line. They send it back out. Three ball on its way. Shot no good by Mickens. Rebounded by Brendan Burns. Burns will give it to Sanders. Brock Sanders into the front court, left side Grant Leach around a Burns screen, gives it right back. Burns for three. That's off the rim, no good. Sanders with a rebound underneath. And Brock will back it out. Now a whistle and a foul, as the foul looks like it's going to go against Devin Mickens, which would be his second. Mickens saying he was pushed off on by Sanders. But Mickens picks up the foul, his second, team foul number 5. Julius Dorsey, who was in, departs. So they have McGaw, Warren, Gray, Beck. And we'll try to pick up the other in a second as Brendan Burns gets it to Max Hankins. Hankins back to Burns. Look down to the blocks where Ty Scholl is. 48 seconds remain. Here's Sanders for three. That's off the side of the rim. The ball will go out of bounds and it will belong to Tech. Dante Gladney is the fifth Titan out on the court. As once again, pressure by Hamilton Southeastern. Still an 11-point Southeastern lead. They've held the Titans to only 2 points in this quarter as Gladney works around a screen in the lane, barrels forward, count the basket, and Gladney's heading to the line. Coach Bembry looking for a player control foul, but they'll say the foul goes against Hamilton Southeastern. And we'll see who they gave the foul to. They have not marked. It is the 7th team foul as Gladney's at the line. And he makes the basket. Makes it a 9-point Royal lead with 32.7 seconds. They get it to Ty Scholl over to Max Hankins. Hankins to Grant Leach. Leach in the front court. Pull-up jumper's on its way. Rims out. Bounces around. Brendan Burns with a putback. Shot's no good, but the foul's going to go against the Titans, though they'll say it occurred before Burns got the shot up. And I believe it's going to go against Dante Gladney. It'll be Gladney's second personal. It is a 7th team foul, so we are going to have free throws, 1-1, as Brendan Burns heads to the line. Burns with 9 points. All of his points have come from beyond the arc. As they check out information at the scorer's table. I think they're going back to that Royals foul. They weren't sure who they called it against, as there was no announcement made, nothing put up on the scoreboard. But we are having a discussion here at the scorer's table. And, well, they said 17 fouls. Now they've backed it all the way down to 5. So all sorts of confusion going on. So the Royals will take it out from the baseline. And they'll throw it out to Max Hankins. Hankins finds Sanders in the lane, lays it up off the glass on a strong move by Brock Sanders. He has his first points. It's a 10-point lead for Southeastern, 45-35. Gadney backs up, 3 as well, short, but right underneath, as if it was a pass, was Willie Gray. Here's Burns for 3, and it's no good. And that'll be the end of the third quarter of play. Southeastern holds the Tech Titans to 6 points in the quarter, and they'll go to the fourth quarter leading by 8, 45-37. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Brian Scott back at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Tech actually scored 7 points in that quarter, but Royal still outscored them 14-7 to take an 8-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. It'll be Brock Sanders, Keegan Kohlmeyer, Keegan Culp, Chris Ford, and Mason Hankins. Those will be the 5 on the court for Hamilton Southeastern, as the Titans will have the basketball. They'll throw it in the backcourt and almost loses. They try to get it to Jerron McGall, but a foul is going to be called. It looks like it's going to go against Brock Sanders. For Sanders, his first. And even though the scoreboard now is correct, 17 fouls now against Southeastern, so we'll go the other way. And Jerron McGaw is at the line to shoot 1-1. McGaw has 11 points. He hit some long-range bombs. He misses the free throw. Sanders with a rebound. Sanders loses it, but he gets it into the hands of Chris Ford. Royals move the basketball around as Keegan Culp now backs it out. He'll give it to Keegan Kohlmeyer. Man-to-man defense by the Titans gives it Brock Sanders, right wing, drives right hand. His layup is short. Ball is loose, and bringing it down is Raylon Warren, and we'll have a held ball with a possession arrow favoring Hamilton Southeastern. Just underway in the fourth quarter, Southeastern with an 8-point lead, 45-37. Josiah Johnson heading back into the lineup for the Royals. Crowd really filling in here at Hamilton Southeastern in preparation for number 1 versus number 3. And they'll get the ball in the hands of Chris Ford. Ford to Hankins, they swing it around. Skip pass over the top, and Kohlmeyer's pass cannot be handled by Chris Ford as it's high. Goes out of bounds, and the ball goes back to the hands of the Tech Titans. It is McGaw, Gray, Gladney, and we'll try to get the lineups, but here's on Jason Beck. His shot no good. Gets his own rebound, goes up, hits short, partially blocked. Going back up is Eric Meeks. It's no good. Here's Chris Ford on a run out and a right-hand flush. And now we're going to have a backcourt violation as Dante Gladney, the official says he stepped over the line before being able to inbound the basketball, and it's going to be a backcourt violation. And the ball will go back into the hands of Southeastern as Dr. Ramon Watts calls a timeout with Southeastern up 47-37 with 4 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. You want to stay tuned as number 1 versus number 3 coming up here on Audio Sports Online. It'll be the third-ranked Hamilton Southeastern Royals and the top-ranked Arsenal Tech Titans as the crowd is filling in here for what should be a fantastic basketball game. Out of the timeout, it will remain Chris Ford, Max Hankins, Mason Hankins, Josiah Johnson, and Brock Sanders. Mason Hankins will trigger the inbounds from the baseline. As we are ready to play. Looking on the entry pass, they find Chris Ford. Ford drives in the lane. Right-hand runner bounces around, still bounces, finally falls out. Ball is loose, controlled by Tech. Here's a long outlet pass, but it's stolen by Mason Hankins. Left side here is Keegan Culp. His 3 rims out, ball loose, and they're going to have Josiah Johnson, I believe, going over the back to get the rebound over Dante Gladney. For Johnson, that would be his 3rd. It's the 8th team foul, so we'll head to the other end of the court to shoot free throws. Correction, yes, they did give that to Johnson. So at the line with the 1-on-1 is Dante Gladney, who has 9 points. Gladney's free throw is good. He'll get the bonus. Four minutes, 40 seconds remain in regulation. 47-38 is our score. Gladney cans both of them. He is 5 of 5 from the free throw line. It makes it an 8-point game. Max Hankins finds Chris Ford, lays it off, and finishing it off is Keegan Culp. And now we'll have a timeout called With 4:29 remaining in this fourth quarter, Southeastern leads by 10. There are no whistle stop play, no timeout at all, as they'll just simply say it was knocked out of bounds, evidently. So the Royals will inbound and throw it to Mason Hankins. And now another whistle. This time they'll give Mason for a travel. Hankins' traveling violation gives the ball back to Tech with 4:27 remaining in this fourth quarter. As Tim Ford will enter the game for Coach Bembry and the Royals. He'll take over for Mason Hankins. And Mason will go immediately to Coach Bembry. And now we have another whistle telling Tim Ford to back up a bit. Triggering the inbounds will be Eric Meeks. He'll get the ball into the hands of Warren. Back over to Meeks. Meeks gets a screen. Leaves it down low. Blocked from behind, but they'll say a foul was called as heading to the lane was Dante Gladney as he made a move. Looked like Jack Kramer had all ball, but they'll say he grabbed him a bit with the arm first. And the foul will go against, and they called it against Keegan Culp. Gladney at the line. Again, he's 5 of 5. And he hits the first. Makes it a 9-point Southeastern lead, 4:16 left to go in regulation. Second free throw from Gladney. That hits back iron. Kramer with a rebound for the Royals. He'll find Tim Ford. They'll get it in the hands of Chris Ford. Chris feeds down low. Ball is loose, still loose, and coming away with it is Tech. Tech's Eric Meeks, and Meeks is fouled. So the Royals, who have had the Titans in the double bonus for a while now, we head back to the Titans front court where Eric Meeks will be at the line to shoot two. For Tech, they have committed only 5 team fouls. And there's still a lot of basketball left to be played in this fourth quarter. Meeks' first free throw rims out, no good. Substitutions, Mason Hankins, Ty Scholl come in. Tim Ford and Jack Kramer depart. One more free throw on the way for Meeks. And he hits the second. He splits the free throws. It's an 8-point Southeastern lead. Here's Chris Ford, drives, leaves it for Keegan Culp. Culp shot no good. Scholl's putback is no good, but he taps it out. Here's Mason Hankins for 3. It's short, and we have a whistle underneath. And it's going to go against Tech. Couple of missed opportunities for the Royals underneath, but they'll have a foul called against Tech. And it will go against Dante Gladney, his third, and now we will have a timeout. 3:51 remains in regulation. Hamilton Southeastern with a 49-41 lead over the Arsenal Tech Titans. You want to make sure you stay tuned. It will be a little after 7:30, I can guarantee you that, because this game still has 3 minutes and 51 seconds remaining, so our varsity contest is going to be somewhat delayed and getting underway. But it should be a doozy, as we are expecting a big crowd here at Hamilton Southeastern as the number 3 Royals and the number 1 Titans do battle here tonight on Audio Sports Online. We'll also be welcoming a new member to the ASO Sports Network as Indiana Talks will be broadcasting our game as well tonight. Brian Scott back with you with Hamilton Southeastern High School, where the JV Royals lead the JV Titans by the score of 49-41. 3 minutes 51 seconds remain in quarter number 4. as we come out of the timeout. The Royals will have the basketball as Chris Ford looks to inbound the ball. And he'll throw it off of the back, get the bucket, and head to the line. We've seen Chris do this on several occasions. When the defender will turn his back on the inbounds, he will throw it off of his back. And this time it works to perfection as the foul goes against Jason Beck, his third, team foul number 7. And Chris finishes off the three-point play. Leaving will be Jason Beck. As Willie Gray comes back in for the Titans. Southeastern leads by 11 with 3:44. Ball stolen away. Here's Chris Ford once again. Drives left side, pulls up, gives it to Ty Shull. He'll kick it out to Mason Hankins, to Max Hankins, and they'll switch it back over. 3:32 left to go in the game. 52-41, Southeastern with a lead. Chris Ford drives baseline, looks to kick it out, loses the basketball. Ball still loose, but Mason Hankins comes away with it. Left side to Keegan Culp, now over to Chris Ford. Ford loses the basketball. Max Hankins loses it. Here comes Tech. Bounce pass, telegraphed. Here's Mason Hankins. He will lay it up off the glass and in. 54-41. Tech comes right back, however, and getting the basket is Eric Meeks. It remains an 11-point Southeastern lead with 2:56. Here's a steal by McGaw. He'll lay it up and lay it in. Deron McGaw, who had 11 points in the first half, that's his first points here in the second, and now trying to jump the pass is Keanis Irvin as they tried to get the ball into the hands of Ty Shull, and Irvin's going to be called for his fourth personal. And we will head to the Southeastern end for free throws as Ty Shull will head to the line. Ty looking for his first points. It's the 8th team foul, so this will be a 1-and-1. 2:45 remains as Ty with the first free throw hits. He'll get the bonus. One more free throw for Ty. And he cans them both. Ty's first 2 points, 56-45 is our score. Almost stolen, but Titans come away with it. Driving down the lane, Gladney shot, no good, but he'll head to the line as he's fouled on the layup attempt by Hamilton Southeastern. Ty Shull looks like he'll be hit with his first personal. And Gladney's at the line to shoot a pair. Gladney 6 of 7 from the free throw line. He has 12 points. Gladney's first free throw, too strong off the back iron, no good. Keegan Kohlmeyer back in. Max Hankins departs for Southeastern. 2:37 remains in this fourth quarter. A 56-45 Southeastern advantage. And Gladney with the second free throw. That's too strong. So after hitting his first 6, he misses that one. Here's McGaw. His 3 is no good. Rebounded by Gladney. He throws up a prayer. And finally, Keegan Culp comes away with a rebound, a whistle and a foul against the Titans. So we'll head to the other end of the court for more free throws. This time, Southeastern will be at the line. Foul will go against Keanis Irvin, and that's his 5th. He fouls out. Irvin with 6 points until he has been disqualified. And Keegan Culp's at the line to shoot the 1-and-1. 9th team foul against the Titans. And Keegan hits the first. Ty Shull will return. No, they'll say it was a lane violation against Southeastern. And Coach Bembry wanting an explanation of that, but the lane violation against the Royals wipes out the free throw and gives the ball back to the Titans. An 11-point lead. Here's Johnson with a steal. Josiah with the basketball. Ball is still loose on the court. It is tied up, and finally, they'll call a timeout. Will be granted to Tech. Coach Bembry looking for a held ball, but the official says the Titans had the basketball when they called timeout. So the Titans will have the ball, trailing by 11 with 2:15 remaining in this fourth quarter. As I mentioned, the stands filling up here at Hamilton Southeastern. We expect what could be almost a sold-out crowd, much like we saw in the opening game of the season with the Fishers Tigers, as number 1 and number 3 do battle here tonight on ASO. Two minutes, 15 seconds remain in this fourth quarter. Hamilton Southeastern with an 11-point lead. For those of you who might be trying to tune in a little bit for the varsity game, this varsity game is going to be delayed by a bit, as we still have 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in this one. The Royals have had the Titans in the double bonus for pretty much this entire quarter. The next team fouled by Tech will put the Royals in the double bonus. So we are probably assured of shooting some free throws in the remaining 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Out of the timeout for Hamilton Southeastern, Josiah Johnson, Keegan Kohlmeyer, Mason Hankins, Chris Ford, and Ty Scholl. For the Titans, it will be Jason Beck, Jerron McGaw, who has the basketball, Dante Gladney, Eric Meeks, and Willie Gray. Tech with the basketball. They trail by 11 as we approach the 2-minute mark left to go fourth quarter. Driving through the lane is Willie Gray as he makes a move. Double team comes, but a whistle will stop play, and more free throws are on the way. Josiah Johnson has picked up his fourth personal foul, and Willie Gray is at the line. First free throw is good. Gray now with 5 points makes it a 10-point Southeastern lead. A minute 59 remains in this contest. And he misses the second. Ford with a rebound for Southeastern. A 10-point Southeastern lead. A minute 54 left to go in regulation. They feed Kohlmeyer. Kohlmeyer stripped from behind by McGaw, but they'll say McGaw traveled, and the ball will stay in the hands of Hamilton Southeastern. A minute 46 left to go as Grant Leach comes in. Max Hankins will come in. And departing will be Josiah Johnson and Keegan Kohlmeyer. Now Keegan Culp will come in. He'll come in for Ty Scholl. 56-46. Royals with the basketball and a 10-point lead. Inbounded to Culp, to Mason Hankins. Mason drives right side to Max. Over to Leach. 3-ball on its way is good. Grant Leach with his second basket of the night. It was the same as his first, a 3-ball from the corner. It's a 13-point Southeastern advantage. Here's a long-range 3 by Eric Meeks, and he nails it. Well, the Titans can hit some long-range threes. They tend to have more problems when they're shooting it right at the arc. But from NBA range, they seem to have no problems hitting the 3-ball. And that 3 will make it a 10-point game once again, this time with a minute 25 remaining in this fourth quarter. Things got on a roll for Coach Bembry's JV squad in the second quarter when Chris Ford simply took matters into his own hands, scoring 11 points in the second quarter. Royals outscoring Tech 20-11 to take a 1-point lead at the half, and then outscoring Tech 14-7 in the third quarter, and they've built their lead to as much as 13. A minute 25 left to go in this fourth quarter in the junior varsity game. Varsity game to follow. It is definitely not going to be starting on time, as we expect the varsity game now to start closer to 8 than it did 7:30. Royals out of the timeout will have Mason Hankins, Chris Ford, Keegan Culp, Max Hankins, and Grant Leach. Those were the 5 that were on the court when the timeout was called. Culp to inbounds, looks for somebody, finds Grant Leach. Leach to Mason Hankins. Mason in the front court, poked away from behind. Here's Eric Meeks with the basketball, lays up with the left hand, left it short, but getting the rebound was Willie Gray. And they get it to Gladney, right side, driving in the lane. Jump stop, Jerron McGaw. And a foul will be called as Chris Ford will be called for his second personal. And Jerron McGaw at the line to shoot 2. McGaw had 11 points. He had some long-range bombs, but he's been quiet in the second half. He makes the free throw. Keegan Kohlmeyer in. Mason Hankins departs. It's a 9-point Southeastern lead with 1:07. And the second free throw, no good. Leach with a rebound. He'll get it into the hands of Max Hankins. Max loses the basketball, but Kohlmeyer has it. Kohlmeyer triple teamed and now fouled. Dr. Batts looking for traveling violation. That doesn't come. But we will head to the other end of the court to shoot more free throws. 59 and 2/10 seconds remain. And that'll be the 10th team foul against Tech. Willie Gray will be called for his second personal, and Keegan Kohlmeyer is at the line to shoot 2. Keegan with 2 points. This is his first trip to the free throw line. And that free throw rims out. Substitution as Dominique Hill now comes in. This is the first time we've seen him tonight. He'll come in for Keegan Culp as Culp's going to head to the locker room to get ready for the varsity contest. Meanwhile, Kohlmeyer at the line looking to see if he can split free throws, which he does. 3 points for Keegan Kohlmeyer, a 10-point Southeastern lead. 57 seconds remain. McGaw in the lane, right-hand runner. It's no good. Rebounded by Leach. Leach to Keegan Kohlmeyer to Chris Ford. Ford will back it out. They look to bleed clock. Sanders with a basketball. Gives it up to Leach. Leach will lay it off the glass with the right hand, and it's good. And now a foul called against Grant after the basket. The basket counts, but Grant's going to be called for the foul, which means we're going to head to the other end of the court to shoot free throws since it was after the basket. For Grant, that's his second personal. 35.4 seconds remain, 62-50, Southeastern with the lead. And the official explaining to Coach Bembry the basket is good. And therefore it happened after the foul occurred after the made basket. Therefore, Tech had the possession. That's why we are at the other end shooting free throws. Normally on an offensive foul like that, you would not shoot free throws, and that's what they're explaining Coach Bembry. Meanwhile, 2 shots coming to Willie Gray as he hits the first of 2. Chris Ford will leave, and he's going to head to the locker room. Tim Ford will come in, Ty Scholl as well. And departing will be Grant Leach, and Leach will head to the locker room. So with 35.4 seconds remaining, second free throw is up. It is good by Willie Gray. Royals have a 10-point lead. Kohlmeyer to Tim Ford. Tim Ford into the front court, gives it up to Max Hankins, who backs it out. Royals again looking to bleed clock. They get the ball to Kohlmeyer to Ty Scholl. Scholl drives, leaves it off, and now we have a whistle before the shot. But we will have free throws with 15.1 seconds remaining. And Southeastern up by 10 as Ty Scholl will head to the free throw line. Foul went against Dante Gladney, his fourth. So Ty Scholl at the line. He has 1 point. It came on a free throw. He has another as he hits the first of two. Stay with us. Varsity action to follow here on Audio Sports Online. Probably closer to about 10 to 8 as Scholl hits them both. He has 3 points. 64-52 our score. Southeastern with the lead. They will have the victory here in this game. 3 ball by Gladney's no good. Goes out of bounds. It'll belong to Southeastern with 7 seconds remaining. Crowds filling in, should have a fantastic basketball game as number 1 Tech, number 3 Southeastern coming up on ASO as the final 4 seconds run off the clock and McGaw tries to steal it, and that will be the end of it. Final score, the Hamilton Southeastern Junior Varsity defeats Tech 64-52. Stay tuned here on Audio Sports Online. Coming up in about 20-25 minutes, we will have varsity action as the third-ranked Hamilton Southeastern Royals take on the top-ranked Arsenal Tech Titans. Don't want to miss it. All coming up on AudioSportsOnline.com.